Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of James Jam. I'm Jam. This is my jam, and this is actually an extra video that I'm putting out because I was just really excited about it. I just felt drawn to do it, and so I thought I'd come on here when my thoughts were still relatively fresh. And I received From Here to the Great Unknown, Lisa Marie Presley and Riley Keough. I ordered it ahead of time, got a signed copy. Show you what that looks like. Obviously, it's not signed by Lisa Marie, but you pretty much get an R, I guess, for Riley, or K for Keough. I'm not sure. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but I couldn't wait for this to come out. I had been just waiting and waiting. I was so excited when I found out that the book was coming out. I was really excited to hear that Lisa Marie had started like an autobiography and wanted to tell her story. And I just couldn't wait for it to come out. It came out, ordered it from Books A Million. It was supposed to arrive. It came out on Tuesday, so I thought it would arrive on Tuesday. It didn't, even though I pre-ordered it. It didn't arrive until Wednesday. I read it through by Thursday. I was done. And I've just kind of been sitting with it now for today's Saturday. So I finished it Thursday. Friday went by, now Saturday. And I just wanted to come on and talk about it a little bit. I'm going to say right now there will be spoilers. So that if you don't want to know kind of like the content of this book, or my thoughts, just I wouldn't watch this one. I feel like I got hair in my eye. And I don't you know, like so many people, they talk about, and well, okay, scratch it. Let's just say first off, and this is just my opinion for entertainment purposes only. As they say, this is just my opinion. I have been fascinated about Elvis and Lisa Marie Presley. You know, people always talk about where were they when 9/11 happened, where were they when Kennedy was assassinated. I remember where I was and what I was doing when Elvis died. I still remember I was, let's see, I would have been 9 years old. And so, right about the same, 9 or 10, I'm very close in age, to what Lisa Marie was. She, I believe, is not quite a year younger than me. And, I just remember thinking almost like the world must be stopping because there's just no way that Elvis could have passed away. And so I know that at that age, you still would have a lot of memories and a lot of things that were really special to you, would probably stick with you for a long time. But so my understanding is that there were tapes that Lisa Marie had started and that she wasn't sure which direction to go in and didn't know how to continue. So she asked Riley to help her. And then within a month, she had passed away. And then Riley said that she had all these tapes to listen to, and she listened to all the tapes, and then she wanted to put them together for this book. And so I was just really excited because I thought, oh, we're going to get Lisa Marie and her words. We're going to hear stuff we haven't heard before. And there really wasn't a whole lot new. And it almost made me feel like there wasn't much to the tapes, or there weren't very many tapes, or she barely got started. So much, the book is written very interesting way. There's 2 different fonts, and it tells you that if it's one font, it's Lisa Marie's words. If it's the other font, it's Riley's. The book is primarily Riley's. There's some Lisa Marie, but not a lot. The information that is there is primarily pretty well known. You know, she was at the house when her father passed away. She ran to the bathroom to find out what was going on. She saw him on the floor. She screamed. They pulled her away. She remembers all the people coming and going to and from the house all the time, but this was all stuff that kind of was in the news and has been everywhere. I think the only new information that really came out was a lot of information about her, not a lot, I mean, a good amount of information about her time with Michael Jackson. There's definitely some background setting there that I won't give away too many spoilers, but there was more. I mean, I think when they came out together, people were just shocked, like they came out of nowhere. But there is information in here that does delve into that more than I'd heard before and made it make a lot more sense than it did to me. I think Riley comes at this. Lisa Marie had an exceptional life, as in different than most people's. And I don't think she ever knew what normal was. Not that there's any real normal, but there's more norms. You know, a lot of time you grow up with mom and dad, or just mom or just dad, but in a house, and you go to school, and then you move out, and then you so on and so forth. But Lisa Marie didn't have a life like that. She didn't finish school. She was in and out of school. She didn't care about learning. She kind of just did her own thing, and she could, because her life was exceptional. She had the money, she had the background, she had the name, and she could use it. And kind of says that she kind of did that in here. And then it seems like Riley's not that much different. She talks about, for example, she took one of her mom's Chanel bags one time to school because she wanted to use it, or on a field trip, and then left it at the park, or stood up at the park, and it was gone. And she didn't think, she felt really bad about it, but her mom never knew she did it, and she didn't think she ever missed it because she had so many Chanel bags. And I thought that really resonated with me because I am primarily a luxury channel. And so Chanel bags aren't cheap. They've never been cheap. Clearly, if she had a lot of bags and so many that she didn't even notice that it had been gone, you kind of get the idea of how different her life was than anybody else's, which you already knew, because she was Elvis Presley's only known child. But I found it interesting that the most information, which again was not a lot, was about Michael Jackson, and there's no way to back that up or check if any of it's accurate, or, you know, because he's not here anymore, neither is she. Very little said about Nicolas Cage, and he's still alive, so I suppose they kind of wanted to tiptoe around that. Very little about her relationship with Michael Lockwood. In fact, it's really not mentioned much at all. She does speak to addiction a lot, but not really how she spiraled down into it a whole lot. Again, by the time you start getting to the parts that you want to know about, or that would be parts of her life that we didn't know, there's very, very little information that's in, like, Lisa's words. And one thing that I thought was really interesting is, I mean, there is very little. She talks a little bit about, speaks a little bit about, Riley speaks about how she knew her mom felt bad, she began having a drug problem after she had her twins, and that she couldn't be as much of a mom to them as she wanted to be. But Lisa doesn't really speak to that. Not like there's no parts of the book that speak to that. But yet, at the very end, then there is more information again, which just seems really odd. It doesn't seem consistent. Like, okay, so she talked a little bit about when she was young. She gave a little bit of information about how she was a, you know, angst-riddled person, and kind of difficult to deal with, but very quiet and very shy. And then all the rest is just a blur. There's just a couple little pieces of information here and there. Some things that are hard to read and may cause, there's just some stuff that could be triggering in the book that I didn't expect to be there, that was, and it's allegations about somebody who kind of did some stuff basically to her, Now, he's no longer living either, to refute or say anything about that. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean it's not true, not by any way, shape, or form. Clearly it meant something because Riley spoke about it and then says that Lisa spoke about it. There was some very interesting information about, Riley doesn't really say anything about her sisters, very little, really nothing, other than she helped watch them when they were little, and again, very little is said or known about them. She does talk a lot about Benjamin, obviously that was her brother, and does speak to his passing. And by now, everybody knows Lisa kept Benjamin's body at the house for like up to 2 months after he passed away, which was interesting. And I would say odd as in different than the norm, but I could kind of see in some respects why it happened, but then most people wouldn't do it or couldn't do it or wouldn't have the availability to do it. And she did also say some other stuff. Again, there's information like about how they, just some stuff she shared about her relationship with her brother and some odd things that happened between them that I was just really shocked that she shared, because they didn't add to the book. They really didn't have anything to do with it. They almost kind of badmouthed him a little bit. And so that kind of surprised me too. So do I think this was worth waiting for? Unfortunately not. It was a quick read. It was interesting. I would say there was about 10% of the book that I wasn't aware of. The other 90% was all something that anybody pretty much could have wrote. Maybe 10 to 20% was stuff we didn't really know. But the rest, I think we kind of knew or could have pieced together based on tabloids and things like that. So I was really disappointed. So I'm kind of wondering what everybody else thinks if you read this. If I had to give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give it a 2. Because I love Lisa Marie Presley. So I can't give it a 1. And it was good to learn a few new things about her, but there just really wasn't a lot of substance to this. I'm really surprised it's going to be a Oprah's book club book. I'm glad. I mean, I love Lisa Marie Presley. I believe she was very troubled. I believe she never really knew who she was on her own, which is really unfortunate because I think she was a pretty remarkable person if she let herself be. And some of it was heartbreaking, and you kind of knew it was there, but not to the degree that now we do know. So yeah, I just felt like coming on here and doing an extra video since it just came out, and it's an easy read. And if you really like Lisa Marie Presley, I would buy it just because it's about her. But I was hoping for more pictures. There's not a lot of pictures. There's not a lot of like pictures that we haven't already seen before. And it talks about how they come from the archives of either Lisa Marie Presley's archives or Elvis archives. But most of the pictures, if not all of them, I had seen before or seen pictures taken at the same time that were relatively similar, but not a whole lot that was different, and that was disappointing too. I thought they maybe have more of her and her family and things, but like more personal pictures, but no, not even that. So I just thought it was really interesting. I always thought she lost the love of her life, her dad, when she was little. I always suspected that her having a son, Benjamin, was replaced that. It filled a void in her heart. And when he died, I figured that so much of who she was died with him, because I think she really, missing her dad the way she did for so long and as much as she did, and having Benjamin come and fill that space in a way that no other man could, because there's no way any other man could love her unconditionally like Benjamin would. And having 3 boys, I know the love of a son. And just even on my background, I just suspected that, not that she didn't love her other girls as much as she loves Benjamin, because I'm sure she did, but it's different. And especially when you don't have a strong male figure that's been there by you, or that you could ever trust or love or have loved you that way. So that was kind of sad to kind of find out that she did feel that way. I'm a very empathetic person. I feel that I'm an empath, or very empathic, and so had always felt that she felt that way, just looking at pictures and seeing how she talked about him. This is even while he was alive, and reading the book, that kind of gives that impression as well. He was more than, I think, just her son to her. Right, wrong, or indifferent. But yeah, anxious to see what anybody else thinks. Would I read it again now if I heard the review I'm giving? Yeah, I would. Because even just the little bit that's in there, that's stuff I don't know, it was interesting to find out. But I just wish there was more to it. I just don't think there must have been very many tapes there. And I think a lot of what this is Riley recalling what Lisa said or what her dad said, and not a lot of really new information. So that's just my 2 cents. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. I generally put out videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and then every other Thursday typically is when I do a book-related video. But because I already put a book-related video out on this past Thursday, I want to put this one out right away because it's brand new, just came out, and just really interested to hear who else reads it and their thoughts on it. So until next time, please do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.